A high-speed chase in a stolen brown Ford F-150 pickup truck during morning rush hour on April 3, 2024 in Los Angeles County.
Hey, good morning. We're going to do traffic, pursuits, and traffic. We got a pursuit going on right now. This is going to be on the westbound 10 freeway. We're going to be in the San Gabriel area, actually coming up on Alhambra. You can see that big pickup truck right there. This has been coming out of the Ontario area. California Highway Patrol behind it, not behind it. Now they're behind it once again. That vehicle really starting to move along at about 102 miles an hour down there this morning. His traffic drive is going to be sweet. And now I'm getting information that we are not going to go to a map, and we're going to stay with this right now. So with this pursuit continuing out here, California Highway Patrol, they are on the ground behind it. And then also you've got a sheriff's helicopter above it. Now they are calling this pursuit, and they understand 2 people inside that vehicle. Stolen truck, and that is a big truck down there. People just when you're looking at it say, oh, that's just a Ford F-350. That 350, that is a full ton. And we've been watching this thing as it's been actually picking up a lot of speed. Since we're going to be calling this an actual pursuit, I'm going to change up our dynamics and turn on some of the text so you guys can follow along. But again, this is happening right now, Alhambra, westbound 10.
Okay, Stu, remind us once again how this all began. Stolen pickup truck?
This is a stolen pickup truck. I'm not sure exactly how they got behind it to begin with, but we did pick it up. We got information from our assignment desk. Freddie doing amazing work down there this morning. Basically said, listen to Orange. That's a California Highway Patrol frequency for out in the Baldwin Park area, and we heard it. They had a helicopter above it. They were calling it out. Don't know. Maybe it's some sort of tracking device inside that vehicle, because the helicopter was definitely watching this truck in traffic in the Ontario area, doing a lot of hinky things, but basically just trying to get around the traffic, getting in the emergency lane. That was one of the reasons why I had a feeling that this was going to turn into a pursuit. They did get some California Highway Patrol units behind it, and then they were making that effort to make this, just to bring it to a stop. They were even talking about spike strips there for a little bit. Don't know how you're going to do that in traffic, but they were talking about it. And then as soon as the media got overhead, well, they were calling 1022. That's the sheriff, or that's law enforcement talk for discontinue. But then they changed that up and said, you know what, keep that helicopter over it. We'll keep an eye on it. Now we're actually getting into the California Highway Patrol, the different division. This is going to be East LA, and I understand they technically have re-engaged that pursuit. So you have one unit bound there, lights and sirens, giving the public heads up on what's going on.
So, Stu, when they make that decision to re-engage a pursuit as opposed to what they call a follow, which is just they're not going to track it as closely, when do they make that call and why?
You know what, we had a little trouble there, but I heard, why did they make that call? You know what, that is a great question, and I would love it if, someday I might be able to actually sit down with, or somebody else from media, actually sit down and, what are the parameters? What are they weighing out? I know safety is always going to be a concern for any law enforcement, and these pursuits, they worry so much about, as they should, about safety of everybody involved. Now, they're worried about the law enforcement officers. If it's a deputy or police or whatever chasing those vehicles, they also worry about the public. They don't want to see anybody innocent get involved or hurt in one of these, and they actually do worry about injuring even that suspect. Right now, it looks like we're going to be changing up the freeways. It looks like we're changing onto, or maybe getting off of. Nope, we're staying on the 10 freeway. I know this area right now, but yeah, they do. That is the biggest concern. But I wonder if there's other parameters involved as well that that law enforcement. And again, these officers, I have no disrespect for them at all. If it sounds like I'm second guessing, I am not. I am just a guy in a helicopter watching this chase happen and unfold underneath us. But I always kind of wonder what it is that they think about, or what they weigh to make those calls to say, are we going to chase it? Are we going to follow it? Or are we just going to let it go?
And this is a pursuit, Stu, that started, we were hearing in Baldwin Park, and now they're in East LA. Is that accurate?
That is accurate. I got to keep an eye on it right there, because it looks like we are transitioning onto. We're actually transitioning onto the southbound 710. Yep, I thought I was going to lose it. Thank goodness I didn't. Well, Baldwin Park is the area, like you say, East LA division of the California Highway Patrol. It was in Ontario, was when we first were listening to it, and it was on the 10 freeway, and it was heavy traffic. There's heavy traffic on the 710. He picked a bad freeway to jump onto right there, and you can see that truck just hugging that emergency lane.
Yeah,
and
he's
you know those
squeezing into that
speeds.
lane, Stu.
Yeah, and you know, and he's kind of squeezing up in there, and you know, the only plus, no, see, that's what I was really just going to say that I'm worried about. Somebody might be just trying to get off the freeway, changing lanes, and then you got this guy coming down that, barreling down that emergency lane.
This is
That's
a busy
where you
time
might see one of these
too,
collisions.
with folks going to work or school or otherwise.
Copy. And I'm getting information that this is the 5 South. This is the 5 South. Sorry about that. I was got a little behind myself there, and it looks like we're going to lose him again. Jeff, if we can get over to the right, it looks like he's going to be getting off the freeway. But we're going to keep an eye on it best we can, see which way he goes down there. They tend to make a right turn, but sometimes we've seen him make lefts. So we're going to keep an eye, and it looks like he's taking an alleyway. Thank you, Jeff. Jeff is our pilot this morning at the tiller. But, yeah, he's taking that alleyway right there. Maybe he knows this area because that was something that I wouldn't have known was there, and I'm sure the just general public wouldn't know as well. Now we're starting to get into these busy streets. Yeah. And, again, you got to remember, this truck is – I mean, a pickup truck is large, but this is a full-ton pickup trucks and also crew cab, and that is a big, big vehicle. And, again, you know, the hard braking, hard acceleration, these trucks – not really designed for that. And of course, when you got somebody that's anxious behind the wheel, you just don't want to see an accident.
Oh my goodness, I'm like holding my breath, Stu. Every single time this guy approaches a main intersection and these people are oblivious, of course they have no idea that this man is being pursued and how dangerous he's been to traffic. So you're holding your breath hoping that nothing bad happens.
That is pretty much every pursuit we're on. I always worry about what's going to happen, and you know, and I think that's one of the reasons why so many people watch these pursuits as well. You got a pedestrian just walking the dog. Now, I got to give it credit. I'm going to get wide one more time. No, I'm not going to lose the car, but you can see the California Highway Patrol. They are actually at that light right there. That one officer nearby, but I believe that they actually were just told also, do not pursue this vehicle. So right now, he's actually on the roadway right there. You can see those street names as we're making our way. I guess we're on Boyle, and this is going to be coming up towards County USC. It's also another very busy area out here as this vehicle continues on these tree-lined roads, which is always difficult for any kind of pursuit. But as long as we stay in that Boyle Heights, East LA area, if he stays on the roads, it's going to be harder and harder to keep an eye on him. But coming up to another major right there in a solid red, making a right turn on the left turn lanes. And we're right here by County USC. But again, keeping an eye on it, and that's what they're doing from the air as well.
Because did you just say, Stu, that they got an order to not pursue this vehicle?
Well, that's what they call it. They say discontinue that pursuit, and that's what that officer did. They backed off, and now this truck driving on the wrong side of the road on a bridge, and picking up speed. And this is, you know, and these are the things you're thinking here. You've got a family member, a friend, somebody just driving along. Maybe it's, you know, clearly not us. We're not on the road, but just driving along, and then you've got this huge pickup truck on the wrong side of the road. You know, clearly everybody's trying to pay attention, but you know, there's moments where you just don't expect something like that, and you just don't want to see anybody get hurt. Another solid red right there, and this pursuit continues as we're making our way out into the East LA area. Another hard turn. Looks like we're going to go back underneath the 10 freeway out there, and I hate it when we're not up close to it, but we're going to keep an eye, see if we can figure out where he just went.
Well, especially this time of morning, too, Stu, where so many people are just trying to get to work or get to school or otherwise. Lots of people on the road.
Yeah. Sorry about that. Everybody's helping me out, and I love the help. I love it. I love it. Anybody that's listening down there, I appreciate it. But he's keeping on down there. And, of course, right now we're in more of an industrial area, which is better, but that doesn't necessarily mean it's safer. Making our way back out onto another major, and it looks like another solid red out there. And you got folks just driving.
So he's in downtown LA now.
Just blowing. Yep, downtown LA. This guy right there, that Mustang, he's got somebody in front of him.
Yeah.
And what are we doing here?
He's squeezing between two cars over there.
Is there anybody else in the vehicle? Can you see?
There are 2 people inside that truck. That's what we were told. 2 people inside that truck for sure. And they made his way out back over this way. But again, you know, you can kind of pick it up, bro. We're by Sam's Hofbrau. But right now you can see this driver basically just, it is opportunity. That's all he's doing.
Right.
I don't think this vehicle he doesn't have a plan.
I'm wondering, I was just going to ask you that, based on his pattern of driving right now, if it seems like he's familiar with the area or if he just wants to keep it moving and is just finding any street that he can go down, really.
Oof.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah, and that's the thing. And right now, I'm sure there is other law enforcement. We're definitely in the LAPD area right now, you know, that are probably watching. And they, you know, somebody's got to make a decision. Are we going to try to get involved? Are we going to try to bring this to a stop, or are we just going to let this guy just kind of run amok out here and hope that nothing happens? It is really, it's an interesting. There's so many questions in the dynamics on the decision-making process. Again, it is something that I am not privy to, and I've got to wonder. It's one of these ones where he pulls up underneath. He's keeping on, making that turn right there and back underneath that freeway. So he's going to come out or make a U-turn. I'm going to stay a little wider. Either that or he's taking a moment to kind of decide what's going on. He's got that cover going on. That is for sure. But just kind of waiting, and I'm sure everybody else's eyes are on it as well.
Suspects in stolen pickup truck ditch vehicle after chase in Los Angeles. 2 suspects involved in a high-speed chase managed to elude California Highway Patrol after ditching the vehicle under an overpass Wednesday morning, April 3, 2024. The chase began in Baldwin Park when the driver headed west on I-10. CHP ground units backed away from the truck as it entered surface streets in Central City West. Air units continued to track the vehicle as it drove recklessly through surface streets before passing under an overpass on the south side of downtown Los Angeles. An LAPD unit responded and found the truck parked on Hooper Avenue under I-10. The truck was found empty with both doors open. The woman was seen walking on 15th Street and the man was walking in a different direction. The suspects remain at large.
You know, stopped underneath there, and those 2 are out of that truck. That is going to be the sheriff's ship that's been over it all the way since the Ontario area. Right now, this is, you know, kind of what they hope for, and this is a good outcome. And it also shows you that the officers that are making those calls to pursue and not pursue, you know, they are doing the right thing, because now that vehicle is stopped. Folks are out of that car, so it is not a threat to the public. And again, they might be in, you know, they say in the wind, but as it would be, you know, that's better than having that guy behind the wheel of that heavy truck and, you know, possibly injuring somebody or themselves on the roadway.
So now it's just a matter of getting eyes from the sheriff on where exactly those 2 individuals went. They ditched the vehicle, but where are they?
Yeah, are there officers on the ground nearby?
Yeah.
No, and that's what I keep trying to get a wider shot about. And I think that's also one of the reasons why Jeff is kind of just hanging here. We're not really moving away, because there's always that possibility that they run and then they get back into that vehicle and drive off once again. I haven't seen any black and whites make their way to this location. And again, this is Hooper at 17, and so right now it's a wait and see type of game.
2 people are in custody after a police chase in Los Angeles County ended with the driver jumping into an open window of a Linwood home. Sunday evening, Los Angeles, California. May 5th, 2024 The chase broke out sometime before 7:30 p.m. The driver was driving a black SUV northbound on Highway 110. The driver then turned west on Highway 105 before getting off the highway in the Linwood area. After a while, the car stopped. The driver ran from the car into an alley. After jumping the wall, the driver found an open window and climbed through it into the house. Minutes later, officers appeared to take another person into custody. The police continued to search for the driver. Residents gathered as officers searched for the other suspect. Minutes later, the police arrested the man. Officers shot out the back window of the parked SUV to evaluate the vehicle. Ultimately, officers arrested 3 people. Los Angeles police announced Sunday night that the driver was suspected of driving under the influence.